Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This time I will talk about two movies which I was watching these days. Both of them were top on the list in their time. First one is Interstellar and another is Contact. What is common for both movies? For me, they are not science fiction. They are both warm human stories. Someone will ask me why I am thinking about that way. There are wormholes, there are a lot of traveling, there are time anomalies near black hole, etc., etc. There are people who are living in 5 dimensions and they can physically interpret time like 4th dimension, time traveling with only with gravity and such other things. But I must say that both movies have a lot of scientific paradoxes, and if we are thinking only about science in this, we will miss a point. For me, Interstellar is one of the best movies ever filmed, but Interstellar is not about any kind about Interstellar. This is truly a story about father and daughter, about how they keep with their losing for bigger goals. That is a story about deceivers and deceived people. There is a story what someone will do to accomplish their goal on any possible way with leap of faith. We can say that is common thing about Contact too. Even when main character from Contact is not believer in any faith, and when we had seen a lot of fanatics against her and a lot of untrustworthy powerful people who are against her, we see that she has really faith in her dream. She lost her faith in something bigger than world, because at the beginning of the movie we had seen that with even the most powerful telescope, radio telescope, she can't talk with her mother, and that was in her mind really the most important thing, because that radio was something what was her world, and her father was supported to do that in such a way because she was talented. I see this story like no other people. People are talking like this is feminist answer on Odyssey, but I don't agree. Movie is much better than Odyssey, 2001 and 2010. From my angle, I know that both movies are legendary, but for me there are no real plot. But here it is. There is a contact. There is some interesting structure about that. How someone, because he is or she is scientist, can be pushed away if he is not stubborn enough to go after her or his own dream. I think same story is not only about her, it is a story about her colleagues too, because we had seen on which way all of them are stopped in their life researches, in their life works. And she is one with the biggest loss in her life. She lost her mother, her father. She blamed herself for her father, and that is some fuel which is raging her entire her life, because she never wanted that really big sacrifice to go in vain. And that is why I am telling this is more story about humanity, about relationships, about emotions, than about science fiction. We here can see a lot of influence on her life from her youth, when she was a child, and her speech in Haddon Corporation is really something what someone do when see that entire work, entire that strength can be destroyed by funds, by something so simple as money and budget. This is story about, that is story about. Story is not about girl won contest and went on trip to Vega. Story is not about only believing in supernatural, or about, that is a story about faith in yourself and about losing and about winning. She had a need. She had a need that she's not alone, that she's not lonely. And that is something what is common for really a lot of people. A lot of people are making mistakes in their lives because they need that. They need to be accepted. They need to be some symbol. They need to be something else. Or if they are not supported, or if they are not strong enough, they will lose themselves in common life, and everyone else will be guilty because they didn't pursue their dream. So this story is really positive for any man or woman on this planet, and I respect it because of that, because yeah, she fought the hard way, but her talent is really great, so she succeeded in that. Maybe there is one mistake, but I will not tell it yet. Maybe I will tell it on some other places what I am thinking about that success with talent in these days. I am a bit skeptic when I see what is going on with this COVID-19 and everything else. I'm a bit skeptic, but never mind. That is for some other time to tell that things. Let's go back to Interstellar. Interstellar is almost similar story, but that is really heartbreaking story from two angles. Father who must leave two kids on really long time, not knowing will he succeed to save them both. And that was a play card which his friend played on, and his friend never believed in their cause. He wanted only to find B plan point, and that is we know that Marv was really disappointed when she figured out, when she heard that on that last words of her mentor. But to be honest, I think, like I said, this is a story about fathers and daughters, about people who are trying their best to win, to get some victory for own kind, for own children, for everything what they stood, and with a lot of betrayal. Matt Damon had really, I think, really bad role. He done his way really, on his way really good this entire story. That betrayal point when he wanted to survive, only to survive what is going on. But what man, yeah, this is really funny to call such prick, to give him a surname man, but okay. How he decided to survive instead to do his work, even when he was inspiration for all people to do it. Yeah, everyone needs to survive, everyone wants to survive, that is natural. But to betray everything what you stood for is truly something the most cowardly. You can change your mind if other people are betraying, that if you see that you need some other way to do that on right way and to do right thing. But Dr. Man is truly not a man. And to be honest, that is a bit spooky for me and a bit postmodernistic for me, that man who was hero, he had seen that he became coward and accepted that. Truly, there are a lot of people, and no need to say is it man or women or something like that. That is humanity issue, not issue of men. Also, what I must say about this, I really brought this because in that moment I found like, okay, one of the biggest heroes became evil. That is truly let down, but other part of stories are really something else. Cooper showed that he really wanted to do anything for his daughter, for his son. Even he jumped into a black hole to do that. But he didn't lose, I'm sorry, his humanity. On first planet they went, he could really say, hey, I have my kids, humanity is waiting for us. I must leave this stupid girl on this planet. But no, he sacrificed 23 years of his life, of people on Earth, because he decided to not leave anyone behind. Yeah, that sacrifice for one life is really too long, and maybe it was a logical mistake. I agree, but the biggest logical mistake in this entire movie is, why should anyone think about moving entire humanity near a black hole? Why? Why that kind of system? Because in theory we know what black holes are. And okay, in movie that black hole became station of 5-dimensional humans. Okay, I can buy it on some way. But to be honest, why that 5-dimensional humans should make that black hole to manipulate with gravity through time? Okay, that is okay explanation, but truly, why pull all people toward that? They could give some other coordinates. They could give a message like, okay, you must go near that black hole, but our species cannot live there near that. And there is some other paradoxes, like if 5-dimensional humans made that black hole, when that black hole, in that moment when Cooper finished with that, ceased to exist, in what moment? Where that there is paradox about this. There is big paradox about this. That black hole is invented by humans, by future humans, moved through time, and still it is built in future. Okay, if you can move black hole, which you made it through time, why you cannot send a message without gravity to Earth? I give for this movie A+, but not because of science, because of emotions. I know how I felt when I had seen that family going apart when father is leaving. I had seen how daughter was fighting for her father to stay. I had seen how people are feeling when they see some things are inevitable, like destruction of entire Earth with suffocating, with losing food, air, etc., etc., with diseases and everything like that. Okay, this is really deep movie. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of other people will tell me like, okay, but that things are still in theories, that things are truly giving people some awards and etc., etc. You need to have more imagination to figure out that on right way. Yeah, I have imagination to figure out everything about that. And what I figure out every time when I use my imagination, but okay, this thing has a bigger hole than black hole, if you know what I mean. We are talking about wormholes, like concept in Contact. We are talking about wormholes in Interstellar. What are wormholes? Places where entire space is like paper and is changing in that kind, easier to explain to people who are not knowing what is wormhole. A place where space behave like paper, so instead of moving from A point to B point, space will change in that way that not anyone else will never notice, and that the physics laws will be still applied between that 2 points, but entire space will be in like deformed to A and B be same point, be at same point. So one how I can say, one object will move to point B without any moving because space is deformed. And I am against this. Why I'm against this? Because I can see a lot of energy to be used to get through that stunt. And I can imagine amount of energy, human energy, life energy, which would be used for travel between that 2 points. And you know what? Even with that old time, that energy for traveling would be much more lesser than that theoretical shifting and changing and deforming entire space. So one ship, one human or any kind of being will be moved from one place to another. And for me, until someone don't get and don't show that everything between that space cannot be destroyed, really cannot be destroyed, because someone will tell me, yeah, but you are thinking about Earth physics. Okay, yeah, I'm talking about Earth physics, but I'm not talking about not doing anything. I only want proof that with lesser energy, that nothing will be destroyed if that can be done. And that is truly something what a lot of scientists are not thinking cleverly about that, truly about that. I don't need to read and to mention a lot of papers I was reading about that, a lot of theories and everything like that. I can see every possible calculation, I can see a lot of things. But I must say that there is one word which said my professor in faculty, and better to say two professors. First, if you have too much buts about some theory, that theory is only to exists only to prove that you have some point and you are right. Another professor said something like precision. You need to be precise. The more you are precise in your science, the longer your experiments and longer your engineering will last. Results of your work will last longer. If we jump over a lot of things and if we ignore a lot of things about this will not be, this will be only science fiction, and truly I had seen a lot of theories falling apart, but a lot of people cannot say that because they want to be respected in science circles. I will not mention which theories, I didn't mention some of them. I said what is my thinking about wormhole, what is my thinking about everything like that. I can imagine it. I can imagine that objects can shrink and something like that, and deform entire space and time. I can imagine it, but I cannot accept it because I don't have enough proofs. I see other possible things which are not thinking about in that model. For me, someone will tell me, so how you can say that you are a science fiction fan? Maybe I more like stories and theories about long way, about some other ways to travel instead of wormholes. Maybe I more like theories about life longevity to be improved. Maybe I think that some scientists are wrong about speed, but I will not say who. But you can figure out about who I am saying. And about to return to these movies. For me, in Interstellar, first thing is, like I said, my highlights are father who is leaving his daughter on Earth, daughter who is too smart and who was learning from her books that science is not important, but she had luck, so she is tutored by more intelligent people without agenda. That is first part of this story. Second part of this story, which was I was finding really difficult, is between that moments, like I said, there are 3 or 4 moments, father, daughter, living stuff and everything like that, which I find really great. There is a story about Marv to be angry with her father. Moment when she figure out who was her ghost all the time, about how she found her purpose in life and how she got over his living, that he never left on his own way. For the end, I must say that I give this movie A, truly, but I must say that I'm disappointed at the end of this movie, because people from that black hole can do anything. They can make Cooper to go near Saturn to be found. They can do anything, made entire world, like I said, that they can move entire black hole from future to present, but they can't move Cooper into time when his daughter became, when she solved that equation, and when he sent her all data from black hole. And I find that part disappointing. I find that really touchy words from the end, when she told him to continue his life because no parent should watch his or her kid dying, so she has her own kids now. I think that is the most wrong ending in entire story. And to be honest, I truly didn't find that personal relationship between Dr. Brand and Cooper. I find that only mistake in this movie about relationships is when Cooper is leaving his old, in that moment, daughter to go toward Edmondson planet. About my ratings for these movies, for Contact I gave, and I will always give, 7 of 10. Why? Because some parts in this movie, yeah, this is emotional story, but not that emotional that I can look out from the big scene that this is science fiction movie. And yeah, this is one of my that was second movie I was watching in cinema. Before that I was watching Stargate. After that I was watching 12 Monkeys. Yeah, that are my 3 first, like I can say, serious movies, not cartoons, which I was watching in cinema. But I always found that Vega trip lack a purpose about science fiction. And I truly don't like this Fate Fanatics or something like that, that TV show that's made about how people will freak out about a lot of things, like making that Viva Las Vega or something like that, about health insurance against vegans or something too. I think maybe vegans, like modern vegans, but okay, I'm kidding, of course. But truly, some parts of movie are not that touchy. Point is touchy, story is touchy. Why her purpose is touchy, but I don't feel some big feelings about other things in this production. I don't see enough, how I can say, arguments against enough arguments against all of this. I can see only that people were trying to make this truly unique story, science fiction, and that is good, but not that great. Like I said, Interstellar is for me 10 of 10 or A plus, however you more like to call it, because Interstellar has story which is going entire movie, and we had seen a lot of different emotions. And yeah, I don't like one sentence which is said in that movie, then that is about love. Okay, making love to be something like science is really wrong. Maybe that is a stronger force than gravity or something like that. I didn't like that part. Okay, if you want to give emotions, to give something like that, okay, that's true, I am all right with that. But the biggest problem with entire that concept is that more looks like Odyssey 2001, which I don't like because it is really story about human who will go on some near some object and for 30 minutes flying into unknown room, he will become something more than human, he will ascend. And truly like I said, I find this when Dr. Brand tried to explain us that feeling is really real force in discussion between which is next destination to check. I think that is the worst place in entire story where she could say that, because that idea is not bad. Like I said, that is truly not bad. That is something what is making us humans, truly. But using it in science, like direction and like argument in scientific talk, and after that saying that, like, okay, so next time if you are mistaken, you will spend entire fuel not to go to your kids, but you will check Edmondson planet. That is her question. Please please tell me that you will not go by your heart, but by your logic, like you did here. Okay. Okay. I I can understand that someone can say that. I can understand that someone can honestly say, my only reason to go on that planet is because there is someone who is in my heart. But I cannot really accept when someone is saying me like, that is only force that is not important about time, not thinking about time or distance or gravity or any other thing. I think there is a big mistake, and there is that words are too spooky, because all the time she pretending to be someone who is in control. Okay. If she wanted to say that argument, she should use scientific things and say, yeah, that is bonus. And I am really worried how it's possible that no one could check out that entire planet and everything what was going on when they came near it. Dr. Mann is saying that this world is cold and even colder in the night. So tell me, anyone who is older than 12 years, how is possible that kind of surface can be great potential for humans to develop their civilization? I'm truly interested how that mistake could happen. Like I said, I have a lot of critics about science fiction in this movie. I have a lot of critics about choosing a world without with black hole there, but I cannot truly diminish entire story, because there are too many touching and great moments about emotions. But like I said, scientific explanation about emotions like force, nature force, is truly something too much for me to buy it. Okay guys, that is about Contact and Interstellar. That was everything about it, what I was thinking this moment. If you like my way of thinking, please subscribe, please like this channel. I will make some other videos with more actual movies, TV shows on English and on other languages, some other languages. I apologize if I made some mistakes, grammar mistakes, but this is my first or second video these days I made on English. I need a bit of practice. But truly, when I was watching these two movies, I was like, do I need to make my review somewhere else, or better to share my opinion with other people who can discuss in comments with me about these two stories, their point of view, and make this story This maybe to show me their angle about this story. I'm not here to talk about physics, about science. Truly, I would not like to make something about that, because I had seen, like I said, a lot of things, and I read a lot of things about theoretical physics, especially about wormholes, black holes, etc. I would more like how people felt about these two movies, because these movies are only about, like I said, feelings, and they have label science fiction, but this story cannot be put anywhere else than there where it is. Both stories cannot be put anywhere else, because that distances and that hard work cannot be done anywhere else than in space. And of course, space is really interesting way to talk about deepest human affections, emotions, and fears and views. Until next video, see you all, guys.